Oh my goodness. We're here. Check, test, 1, 2, 3. Check, test, 1, 2, 3. Are we testing? I mean, are we speaking? I mean, are we there? I got to remember today, YouTube 31 seconds behind, Facebook about 11. Let's see who we got here today. Dave is here. Yes, Dave. Indrid. All right. Matthew. Merle. Hey, Merle. Merle. Just check your mail. That's all I can say. Andrew's here. Welcome, Andrew. Andrew's probably watching us on the train on Thursday on the way to work. At For Me Too. Is that Chris? Is that Chris from New Zealand? And guest 86. 86. 86. Let's see. What is the significance of 86? You'll have to help me on that one. Guest 918. What's the significance of 918? Is that a date? So we have guest 422, which of course is a video reference, and then guest 180, which of course is a reference for doing a turnaround. But you guys will have to help me out with those. And Prashana's back. We've missed him the last couple of weeks. And TCB at tgbn.tv. So we all have to go see what tgbn.tv is. Welcome, TCB. Larry's here. Welcome, Larry. Glad to have you. Mike and Edward. And Mr. Live Producer. I love it. I love it. Glad to have you. Jeff is here. Hey, Jeff. Been following your page, and you're doing all sorts of great things. Henri is here. 422, of course. Rudy is here. Hello, Rudy. Giles is here. And let's see, who else? My list keeps shifting, so you have to apologize. I have to apologize. Okay. And Frank's here, but he's not on my list. And did I say 360? I meant 180. Yeah. Marcus is here. Hey, Marcus. Marcus is from our neck of the woods here in Alabama in the U.S. And let's see. Let's get up. Let's do this. Let's take a quick 12 seconds on Facebook. Okay. Let's do a quick, for those of you that are watching us on YouTube or Facebook directly, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com where you can see the chat room. I mean, you can see it here now, but during the show you won't be able to see it because it's not on Facebook. Or I guess I could put it on Facebook somehow. Anyway, I'll have to worry about that next week. I did say 180. Okay, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I never know. And it's easy to get things confused like that when you're excited and you're in the moment and all that stuff. And now I lost completely my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Welcoming Facebook and YouTube viewers. Glad you're here. Come to easternshorebroadcasting.com if you want to join the chat. If you just want to watch, that's fine. No problem. No problem. Is that Marcus or Birmingham? Marcus is in Birmingham. And Birmingham, this is not Birmingham, England. This is Birmingham, Alabama, USA. Yeah, he's just up the road from me. So let's see, the list keeps changing around. And I'm glad you guys are here because you know whoever joins us during the live show in chat, the last one has to bring refreshments to the after show. So you don't want to be late to the chat room for the live show. And just want to let you know, this is lemonade. This is lemonade. Now, with the delay thing, it's kind of funky. The chat room, I think, has, virtually zero latency. So as soon as I post something, you see it. As soon as you post something, I see it. As soon as any of us post something, everybody sees it, I think. Facebook is going to have, what did we say, about 11 seconds, 12 seconds, says Jeff, of latency from me saying it to the time you hear it on Facebook. YouTube, which is what the embed is on easternshorebroadcasting.com, YouTube has about 31 seconds of latency today. And that's really funny because last week it had about 15. Actually, we started out with 31. And then I realized that I had forgotten to tick the little box on YouTube that says, optimize for lower latency. So I went back and ticked that, and that still ticked this week, but we've gone back from 15 to 31 seconds. So by the time I say it and I think about it for a while, then you have a chance to respond. So we'll do the best we can. You know, bring back the good old days of Flash when there was a 3-second latency between the time I said it and the time you heard it. Not that what I'm saying is that important, but just, you know, the give and take. Now, Flash is still out there, and I guess we could set up a Flash feed. Maybe we'll try that for next week. It's fun to have a lot of different options. All right, 86 says, I dropped you a pic of Facebook next to YouTube. Oh, cool. Okay, thank you. That's good. I guess you sent it to me email, and I'm not going to get my email right now because my wife has borrowed my email computer, because it's also the computer that we do business on. It has QuickBooks on it, and so she needed to use QuickBooks for the church. She's actually the church secretary, not secretary, church treasurer. All right, Jeff says, I'm going from the chat room to Facebook update of the chat. I don't know when you say it, smiley face. Okay. Oh, is it Jan or Jan? Says he has 6 seconds on the late YouTube stream. Hey, that's awesome. Giles has got 13 seconds on YouTube. Okay, we're back in business. And Matthew says he's got less than 20 seconds. All right, that's good. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Oh, we got a few more minutes. Okay, that's good. I've got clocks everywhere, but, you know, I lose them. I would love it if you guys would check in and kind of tell me where you are, because obviously with all the different latencies, that's going to be somewhat dictated by where you are geographically from me. And I'm in USA in the southern part, southeastern part, state called Alabama, right down on the Gulf of Mexico. It's a beautiful spot. We've got beautiful beaches within about 30 minutes of us. So knowing where you are, I think will help kind of pinpoint latency, but also is just, you know, it's really neat. Like, you know, Matthew just posted that he's from Peoria, Arizona, where it's 94 degrees today, which is a cool day for them. That's amazing. If it were 94 here, it'd be broiling. But here, the humidity today is probably 80%, something like that. If it were 80% and 94 degrees in Arizona, they would be miserable. Frank's in Southern California, all right. And Jan is in Warsaw. Awesome, awesome. Mike has got 4 seconds from Toronto. Isn't this amazing? This is amazing. Rudy is in the center of Belgium. And, thank you. I had a drum roll app. Not an app, but an audio. Where is it? Is this it? I bet that's it. Let's see. No, that's a tone. We don't want that. But I found a drum roll, and I must have put it in my Dropbox. Let's see. Let's go back to Dropbox and go into the music section and see if it's there. No, nothing's there. Well, darn. Yeah, I thought it would be just fun to get a sound effect like that. But unless I just left it, no. Oh well, did I put it in show videos? I shouldn't have, but I could have. Do you ever lose things? Oh well, I lost it. Those are MP4s, so those can't be it. Okay, never mind. We'll do the drum roll next week. Sorry about that, Chris. Drum roll. All right, Jeff says he's getting YouTube faster than Facebook now, and he's in Iowa. That's great. Rudy's got 9 seconds on YouTube. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I guess you guys are doing it based on this clock right here. This should be deadly accurate. And the CT is for Central Time USA. Merle says no new mail. No, no, no. It's not email, Merle. It's postal mail, and I haven't mailed it yet. Tommy House is here. Hey, Tommy. Tommy's just up the road in Montgomery, Alabama. Tommy, I need to someday when you've got time to chat. I want to chat with you about what you were doing with the biscuits and just picking your brain. So, wow, I wish I could get up to Montgomery because I'd take you to breakfast. Ace Dreamcatcher, welcome. Glad you're here. Yeah. We're getting ready to start here in about 9 minutes. Let's see who else might have shown up late. It's good that you're here now. Remember, if you show up late during the show, you have to bring refreshments to the post show. Okay, I think we're up to date on the list of folks that are here. I think it was Giles that gets the award for being here first, because he was on the chat room about 3 hours ago, I think. All right, Jeff says, no, Tom. When the chat updates with a new post, I time that to when the post shows up on your stream. Oh, well, okay, there you go. That's good. Then I won't worry about this clock on my forehead. 11 seconds it looks like now on YouTube. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how it kind of ebbs and flows a little bit? I wonder how it does that without, I guess it, what does it do? Drop a frame, increase the frame rate, decrease the frame rate? Do all of a sudden I start talking like this? Jeff says, well, I don't have your stream until I get it. Now, that is a profound statement. That is a profound statement. Right-click options on YouTube says 11.3 seconds latency. What? Right-click options. Yeah, it does. Look at that. Bum. Where does it say? Connection speed. Yeah. Buffer health. Live latency. All right. Mine still says 33.9 seconds live latency. Isn't that funny? I'm going to refresh this one. It's just a low, 144, kind of a confidence monitor. I learned that word this week. Aren't you impressed? Okay, let's see. If we're still at 144, yep, we'll right-click. And this is, oh, come on, let's show. Let's play show and tell. It's much more fun when it's show and tell. So we got, okay. So what you got here, this is my second monitor. And this is obviously the YouTube page. And we'll right-click that. Oh, hold on. Let me do one more thing here. Let me sharpen this particular input. So I'll right-click, and I can go Stats for Nerds. How about that? Stats for Nerds. And the next to the bottom right down here is live latency. And it says 8.8 seconds, optimized for low latency. So I was messed up before somehow. Dropped frames, 28 out of 900 and some odd. So YouTube is dropping some frames here and there. Interesting. Well, that's cool. That's cool. All right, we'll get out of that. X out of that so we can see our live monitor again. And we'll cut back here. There we go. And we lost our, oh no, there's the ticker. Okay, good. Let me get back to my chat here. And who said that? Henri said that. Good job, Henri. Thank you. Boy, that's cool. That's cool. All right, Mr. Live Producer, can I just call you MLP? Says it's about 4 seconds difference between Facebook and YouTube. Prashana, you know, what you might want to try is just refreshing your page, and that might bring you back up closer. I don't know. I was 33 seconds latency, and then I refreshed, and I came to 8.8. Ace Dreamcatcher's on his iPad. He thinks he needs to log out and use his PC. That's certainly worth a try. Mike has sent me a link to a drum roll. Thank you. Jeff says, my clock and your PC clock sync to net are 8 seconds off. You know, funny thing, my PC clock sync to net is 28 seconds off a net. Go figure that. It must only sync once a year or something. All right, 86 says, so Tom, to broadcast on Facebook and YouTube, is that the $700 version? I'm sorry, you asked that earlier. I don't think so. I'll check, but I don't think so. Ah, the wife is here. Finally, a lady in the audience. Great, great. Welcome. Okay, so everybody that's here now, if you haven't already, go ahead and refresh your browser. I'll wait for just a second. Because if you started out earlier, YouTube was like majorly delayed with latency, and it's speeded up as time has gone on. You like these graphics right here? Speeded up. So you'll have your quickest interactions here if you refresh your browser now. Let's see. Musicaldo, Love God Bad Edwards. Now that's a name. We're glad to have you. Didn't mean to insult your name. Martin K is here. Glad to have you too, as usual. Martin K is my anchor, and that's a good thing. And Martin Stuckey's here. Welcome. Didn't see you down at the bottom of the list. What are you doing down at the bottom of the list? Get up to the top of the list. Okay, time-wise, we got 2 minutes. Interesting show today. The wife chopped off 8 inches of her hair. Giles, where is John, the wife? Is he not here? Did I overlook him in the chat somehow? Got it. Okay. All right, let's see. Today, as you might have seen, there's lots of great topics. John is on his way. Richard is missing today. Yes, Rich is not here. He's probably busy. All right, Mike says, based on my clock on the screen, it's 1 second. Wow. Yeah, Richard or John. John's not here yet. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube directly, I would invite you to come to easternshorebroadcasting.com, right down there, because that's where you can see the chat during the show, because we're not going to keep this chat up during the show. This is sort of our pre-show format. So come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, and then you'll still have the chat during the show. For the post-show, and you can tell it's the post-show because we kind of go on vacation for post-show. For the post-show, we have this shot. So this is our post-show. Why is it different? I don't know. It just is different. But I don't want to get into the post-show now because I don't want to scare anybody to think, oh, we missed the show. So come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com so you can see the chat during the show. John's here. Ta-da, that's right. Okay. And Jamie Chavis, is it Chavis or Chavis? It's probably Chavis. Jamie Chavis, H's Dreamcatcher is back. All right, good. Prashana says chat room's the place to be. Why do I say this? Because otherwise I would read it and you'd just see me standing here, sitting here, not doing anything. All right, John's got refreshments in the post show. Yes, he does. And Jeff's going to be right back. You think we ought to make Jeff bring refreshments since he's leaving us? I don't know. We'll consider that. All right, let's see. Who else slipped in while we weren't looking? Last question, quick poll question here. How many of you, how much time do we have? Oh, we're over time. All right, we need to start in just a second. How many of you were able to see the vMix Fun Time live show on Tuesday? That would be yesterday. It was really a good show. I enjoyed it anyway. It was 4 o'clock a.m. for me. But for those of you in Europe, it was, what would that be? Maybe 10 in the morning, something like that. And then it was 7 in the evening in Australia, that end of the world. So Frank says he watched it. It was an early day, but, you know, I'm one of those people, I can fall asleep. And Jimmy H. is here from Oklahoma. Welcome, Jimmy H. Prashana saw it. Rudy says it was a decent hour for him. That's good. G. Russell Washington. Welcome, G. Russell Washington. Glad you're here. Giles watched it 5 hours after it was live. Well, here, let me tell you. This is why you want to watch the live show, because sometimes the best stuff happens in the pre-show and the after show, the post-show, and the show is, you know, the show is the good stuff. I mean, the official good stuff. But the unofficial good stuff, when the hosts, you know, kind of let their hair down a little bit, they relax a little bit, they say things that maybe they shouldn't have said, you know, letting the cat out of the bag stuff. So I'd guess maybe the post show for the vMix Fun Time live show on Tuesday, that went, what, 15, 20 minutes? I didn't wake up in time to get the pre-show. You know, I just wasn't thinking about that. I don't know that they do much of a pre-show. I think they just have that kind of the role of the drones that are driving all through the landscape. Anyway, it was a good show, and if you watch the post show, you know that they poked fun at me. Can you imagine poking fun at me? I mean, here they were, Martin and Tim, just standing there. You know, this is Martin, this is Tim, and they're standing there. And then Tim presses a button, and up pops me, and I say NDI, and then I pop back down. I mean, not only did they do it once, they must have done it 4 or 5 times. It was, I mean, I was, how do you say it? You know, there's no, what's the phrase? I guess, you know, any publicity is good publicity, even bad publicity. You know, when you make fun of somebody like that, you're really showing them esteem. That's what I'm counting on. But it wasn't, excuse me, it wasn't in the show part that they recorded and uploaded to YouTube. I meant to record the show so that I could capture those kinds of things, but I forgot about it. That's it, Giles says. There's no such thing as bad publicity. But it was fun. And, you know, and Tim and Martin, they're characters. They really are. And I had dinner with Tim at NAB and just, you know, got a chance to chat and get, you know, some of the backstory on them. And, you know, they're just they're just regular guys like us. They're just idiots like the rest of us. Okay, let's get this show on the road. We are, how much? We're 4.5 minutes overtime. All right, so let's see. We need to go to our show tab. I've got show tabs. I've got a tab up for pre-show and a tab up for show. So G. Russell Washington, can you send me an email on how I can put the chat onto my page just like this one? I need your help. Okay, G. Russell Washington, here's the deal. I need you to send me an email. Go to easternshorebroadcasting.com, go to the contact page, send me an email, tell me what you need, I'll send it back to you. but I am about, yeah, I see your email. And in the chat, in my chat, all the chat letters are like this, and your email is like this. And there's no way I'm going to see that. But if you'll send me, or you can just send it to tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, I'll reply. But I got to get you to take the first effort. Right. Okay. Okay, you got mine. And by the way, I'm not answering emails. My wife's got my email computer. And no offense, but if you're in chat, I probably won't pay a huge amount of attention to you during the show. If you write to me in all caps and say, your mic is off, I'll probably see that. But don't do it unless it's really off. Because, I'll look over there at the chat, and before I know it, I'm talking, and all of a sudden the words that are in chat starts coming out of my mouth that don't make any sense. It's the way my brain works. Okay, that was definitely more than you needed to know, or wanted to know, I'm sure. Okay, so let's get geared up here. We're going to go to black. We're going to fade to black. I'm going to drop my mic, and we're going to get queued up with the show opening, and then we'll be ready to go. So sit tight. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and you have arrived at Streaming Idiots. My condolences. Somehow you got here, and it's like, how did I get here? Gee whiz. And who is this crazy guy? Anyway, and here I am looking at the chat room, seeing that the wife has got me on the full screen on the TV set. Gee whiz. I said I wasn't going to look at chat. I'm sorry. Let me start that again. Hey, I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. Everything you never wanted to know about streaming. Come here and learn from my mistakes. I make the mistakes so you don't have to, and we have a lot of fun doing it. We've got a bunch of folks in the chat room today, and we've been having a good time in the pre-show. So if you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, this is my invitation to you to come join us on a Wednesday afternoon, Eastern time. It's 3 o'clock in the USA, whatever time that would be where you are. Come join us live and get in on the pre-show where we talk about things before the show, and then of course we have the show, and then afterwards we have the post-show. And so there's a lot of fun with that, and you can get in on that if you're watching us live. If you're watching us live today on Facebook or YouTube, welcome. Glad you're here. Would love to have you come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com. Whoop, here we are right there. And then you can see the chat and join in with the chat. We've got a lot of folks there. And these and the wife is saying, woo, I made Tom look at the chat. Oh my goodness, gee whiz. We've got to do something about this. I got to learn how to ban people. No, I'm just teasing. No, but come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com now live and get in on the chat so you can see the chat during the show. We project the chat up on the screen during the pre-show and post-show. So if you were watching us live and all of a sudden the chat's gone, that's why you need to come to easternshorebroadcasting.com and join the chat. So we're glad you're here. And by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, or even if you're not watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to us on YouTube. And you may want to follow us on Facebook. We've got a page there, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. We've got Twitter. If you go to Eastern Shore Broadcasting, you can find the Facebook and Twitter stuff there. And a lot of times, if we have something special coming up, we'll post it on Facebook or Twitter. We don't do a lot of that stuff. It's just when there's a reason to do it. It's not like, we're pumping the feed with something every 20 minutes, to develop whatever it is they develop. And I follow some folks that do that. And maybe 1 in 10 posts is something of interest to me, and the rest of it's just spam, actually. And so I don't want to spam you. I'm just going to put the good stuff out there, and the wife got me again. That makes 3 times. Really exciting show today. Of course, vMix, the boys at vMix down in Australia, Gold Coast, Australia, which is kind of like Orlando in the USA, except it's on the water. It's a beautiful place. I hope to go there one day. They had their monthly vMix Fun Time live show on Tuesday, which of course here in the US was Tuesday morning at 4 a.m. I got up and watched. Did you? I mean, come on, guys. It was a lot of fun. And fortunately, I'm one of those people that can go back to sleep immediately, no matter where. So that was a good deal. But they had a lot of really interesting things to share, some of which I'm going to kind of recap here. But it's not going to be a recap of their show, so don't worry about that. Probably the biggest news I thought had nothing to do with vMix, and that is that there was a product. Was it really a product? Oh, maybe it was just a rumor. There was a rumor going down at NAB in Las Vegas back in April that a company out of Australia, not vMix, but another company, had come up with a device that you could mount on a camera, HDMI, SDI, you could mount on a camera and plug Ethernet into it, your network into it, and it would be NDI. So your camera would suddenly become an NDI video source, live video. Plug in Ethernet, got a camera on the other end, boom, you got it go. The company's name was Bird Dog TV, and I think it's actually birddog.tv. So you can look them up on the internet, and they've got Facebook presence and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So, they said we're taking pre-orders for June. Well, June came and went. We saw no product, but apparently they were out in that wild, wild west kind of place up in Amsterdam for IBC, and they shared that they were in pre-production, which I guess means they're getting all the templates right, all the patterns set, getting all the things that are going to be going in there, and they're going to put the little piece parts on there and solder them in, and they're getting ready to start producing these rascals. Now this is going to be a game changer. This is going to be a game changer. Suddenly any camera can be, it means that your legacy cameras that had HDMI or SDI suddenly can be plugged into the network and be available on any PC on the network that's running, an NDI product like vMix, for example. It's gonna retail somewhere in the $600 to $700 range, and that for those crazy people that are the first early adopters, they're going to run right out and grab them, and hopefully, if the production numbers do well, the price is going to drop. Or somebody's going to buy one and reverse engineer it and, get a Chinese knockoff for, $45 like they have the HDMI to SDI converters. But it's going to be a game changer. And of course, new technology, game-changing technology, frequently is overpriced to begin with. So we got to take that with a grain of salt and say, is it worth it for me in this particular, does it make financial sense? That's really the idea. If you've got a $2,500 camera that, you're having trouble getting into the system because it's too far away, or you want to be able to share it and it has to go through a capture card and through a computer and through a whole network, maybe it makes financial sense to spend the $700 and make that camera NDI compatible. Now, I will say I had a show, what was it? It was probably before NAB, where I really beat up hard on Panasonic because they were saying their camera was NDI compatible. It wasn't NDI compatible. If you used an NDI app on your PC and plugged your camera into it, then the camera image could be shared over the internet. Well, I did a follow-up on that where I showed that my Jack Russell Terrier, Rooney, was NDI compatible too by doing the same thing. So this, however, is true NDI compatibility. Can't wait to see it. bird/dog.tv NDI camera interface. Thank you, TCB. So that's pretty cool. Let's keep a close eye on that, and let's keep a close eye on any competitors that bring out products. You know, is Blackmagic going to come out with something? Is AJA coming out with something? Those would be two that I would think would be right on the cusp. You know, can we nudge those folks at Magwell, to those curmudgeons at Magwell to get off their fannies and design something like this? What about the folks at Yuan? You know, they're kind of a low-cost provider. Are they going to try to engineer something like this? Or are they waiting to see if bird-dog.tv can make a go of it? My hat's off to bird-dog.tv. Go get them, guys. Go get them, guys. Next up, vMix 18 beta is coming out next month. Actually, today is September 28th. October is like, you know, 5 or 6 days away. We count differently down here in Alabama. October is when it comes out. Could it come out October 1st? Now, what's in 18? Well, that's the thing. 18 has got data sources, it's got activators, and it's got a new revised old feature. Now, this is a feature I've never ever used, but I think I might find a good use for it. It's called List. It's an input called List, where basically you can take all of your videos or photos or music or whatever and put it in a list and then play it sequentially or reorder it and play it. And so for folks that are doing 24/7 TV, the list is the way to do, because it means you don't have, I mean, if you've got, you know, 49 things that you would like to queue up to show or play, you don't have to put 49 inputs into vMix. You can put them into one list and then manage them like this. Now, the guys at vMix were kind enough to talk about the list. So I think I have them queued up. Let's see if we can get them right where they are. And yeah, let's let them talk about it. Be right back.
I should have a drum roll here. Brrr, I've got a laser. Here we go.
So first, let's recap. vMix 18 has, we've talked about two features so far in 18. We've talked about the new activators. You can turn on lights in response to different things you're doing in your production on MIDI controllers and X keys. And we talked about the data sources, how you can bring in data from a whole lot of different places. CSV, Excel, it's all accessible from a burger menu. That's why Tim put up the burgers. The burger menu is just 3 horizontal lines that represent a menu on mobile devices. We've added that to vMix. So that's what's in there so far. So the final feature we're talking about today in vMix 18 is the new list updates. So customers have been talking to us and saying, hey, you know, we like the list feature, but in the middle of our, you know, hectic production, we may want to change the videos in the list quickly. We may want to turn some on, turn some off. You know, for example, an ad break in a sports game, they may want to change the videos really quickly. So we thought, okay, we need to make the list UI a little bit easier to access. And I'm going to do a demo right now for you all to show you the new list functionality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a desktop capture so you guys can see what's going on. So we'll just do that, and we'll just put that up, and we'll just put this audio mixer out of the way for now. So this is our production today. If we click the grey button, you'll see all the sources that Tim loads up the production with each and every month. This is like 46 going on to 50. There's a lot going on in there. But we've put that all out of the way, and we've put what we're going to demo into a separate tab that Tim has called L. Funnily enough, L for list.
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on Sesame Street. L for list. So this list is right here, and it's, you know, it's got the traditional right-click menu. You can select any video clip by right-clicking it. That's all the same. If you're used to that, that's a great way to find video clips and so on. But you'll know, oh, hey, I need to quickly edit the list so that something plays next. Well, you'd have to go to Edit Items, and it would open up an Edit Items window. Well, now it opens up a brand new tab. So for those that know the tabs in vMix 17, you have Audio Mixer and you had Replay. Now you have the list, and this is what it looks like. It's got all the video clips in your list. It's got an easy-to-access box, so you can turn some on in the list. You can turn some off. You can add more video clips quickly and easily to the list. You could add more video clips. You could add 5, 50, 1,000. You can edit the items in the list. You can remove them, of course. You can shuffle them, and you can export them. So all of that is easy to access from this tab. And of course, as it's a tab, you can undock it, and you can put that up here, and you can put it on a separate monitor, anywhere you like. That allows you to easily access the list. But we're just going to dock it in again here. So we can put them on the list. We can move them up in the list. We can move them down in the list. We can do all sorts of adjustments for each of these video clips. And I can double click to load it up like so, or I can just click an item in the list and go, I want to play this time-lapse nature landscape right now. You know, the producer says, hey, give me that time-lapse nature landscape stat. Well, I'll simply highlight it and click play out. And that's going to play that clip. I don't know why the producer wanted it, but he was pretty insistent.
I don't need to give you my reasons.
So, and that's it. And as you'll see, when the video clip finished, it just stopped playing because we have these options here. I can automatically play the next item in the list. I can automatically always start the list from the first item, and I can loop. So if I enable auto next, then it will jump to the spectators watch as hot air balloons ascend into the sky.
I should have renamed
that's
this.
That's a nice description, actually. It tells you exactly what you're going to get. So I'll play the time lapse again, and we go, okay, we're playing the time lapse, and after that we're going to watch the hot air balloons. And you can see now the final duration. Well, if you saw the desktop capture, I'll show you after. There's the hot air balloons, and it's going to keep playing each item in the list until I transition away from it. So you can see here, and you can see here it has 7 minutes and 52 minutes remaining. And if I started removing items from the list, you can see, you know, that's updating real time to show you how much time's left in the list. So this has been a really quick overview of the functionality, but you can see that we've made it easy to access and edit and run up video clips live quickly and easily without having to load all of those video clips into your production. And that's something I'll briefly talk about, is the performance. The list doesn't load all of the clips into memory like inputs. It only loads the ones it needs to, and it preloads the video when it's just about to play the next one. So that keeps the memory in your system free. It keeps your graphics card memory free for other stuff. So that's the advantage of the list. Of course, you could drag and drop hundreds of clips into a category in vMix, but you know, you're not going to be able to automatically play between them, and they're going to use up a lot of memory and system resources. So the list not only makes it easy to create lists of videos and adjust them, it also saves on performance, so it helps out that way as well.
People use it for things like ads and that as well.
So the main case we built these list updates on, well, hey, they have a list of ads, but they only have 30 seconds, and their ad list goes for 5 minutes. The producer says 30 seconds of ads. Well, you can now quickly go to the tab, untick videos until it says 30 seconds in duration, and click play out. And then suddenly your list is going to play out 30 seconds. And so in addition, the final point, I'll talk about all those buttons as you saw in the list, you know, whether you're automatically playing the next, whether you're looping, whether you're playing from the first. There are also new shortcuts in vMix 18 to control all of that. So you could set up your MIDI controller or your X keys controller like Tim has to program different clips, to turn on or off auto next if you only wanted to play a single video. All that sort of stuff can be done from shortcuts. So we hope that this will help automate the fast-paced productions, particularly in sports, with the new list input. So
the new list input, yes, indeed. And I think that's going to be pretty neat. The fact that you can dock it and undock it means that you're going to get a lot more functionality out of it. John says he wants to be able to cache everything in memory. You can cache everything in memory. You just make a string of inputs. I was working with a client yesterday, and they had 254 inputs. About, maybe 240 of them were graphics, either videos or still graphics. And it was beginning to show to slow down the system just a tad. So there is definitely a use for the list function, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a good one and well worthwhile. Now, one of the things that Martin and Tim don't show in that clip is that they made fun of me during the after show, during the post show. Yes, you saw me pop in. Well, that's what they had me do during their show. It wasn't like I got to choose to be there, and I would pop up and say NDI. So I decided, what's the best way for me to make a reply to that? And I thought, well, really what I want to do is show them my desktop. And this is my desktop. This is the way my desktop looks. Actually, I've cleaned it up for you guys today. And I thought, what better way to do this is then to put Martin and Tim in my desktop. So, here's Martin. And, no offense, Martin, but we'll put the keyboard right there. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just poking fun at those guys. It's always nice to be recognized, and so we wanted to recognize Martin and put him in a good spot. That was the keyboard. Moving right along with the show, because I'm dragging a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Skype has had some problems working with vMix and some others. And I think that Martin mentioned it in the vMix Fun Time Live show, that if you'll take a new Skype account and try that you'll have success. And for some reason, the older Skype accounts, like my Skype account, golly, it might be 8 or 9 years old. It could be older than that. I don't know. I've just always had it. But if you try a new Skype account, under a different email address, everybody's got more than one email. See if that doesn't work for you. That's going to be pretty cool. A little piece of news that the folks at New Tech, remember that's the mama and daddy of NDI, have come up with an app, or they're coming, I think they've come up with it. They haven't released it yet, but it's going to be soon, very soon, an app that will allow your Android or iPhone to become an NDI camera source. Ooh, I like that. Now, I think the folks at Sierra had one that worked with iPhone, but New Tech, being the democratic folks they are, they wanted everybody to have one. So they've come up one for Android and one for iPhone. I understand the one for Android was a little tougher to make work. So keep an eye out for that. That's probably going to be something that you want to put in your tool bag, because, what's better than having a camera on the fly? And frankly, these guys can make pretty darn good little cameras. I wouldn't do them for high action sports like MMA or soccer or something like that, but in a studio environment or in an event environment, it'd be pretty cool. What else? Martin's going to be in the U.S. again in November at NAB in New York and at Streaming Media West out on the West Coast. So if you are close by those places, you may want to check NAB New York and Streaming Media West and see if you can pop out there and tell him that Tom says hi. No, that's right. Just go up and find out about what's going on with vMix, because vMix 18 beta will have been released then, and the official release is pinpointed for December, it looks like. So a release next month, maybe even in the next week or two, a beta of 18, and the final release in December. Now let's talk about betas for just a minute. What's a beta? Well, a beta is not an alpha. An alpha is a version that is full of bugs. In fact, it probably has more bugs than features. A beta is an alpha where they've killed all the bugs they could find. That doesn't mean they've killed all the bugs. They've just killed all the bugs they could find. But you're going to have, if you download a beta and start using it, you're going to have a different set of circumstances, hardware, software, who knows what else, what other different circumstances that may show up as a bug. And the bug may be a huge bug. I mean, the bug may cause your PC to crash. So if you don't like to live dangerously, don't use a beta for production. Yeah, you can play around with it, but don't download it and play around with it the day of a gig, because if something messes up, you may not have time to fix it before your gig time. Now, the only person that's allowed to do that is me. And you know that if a beta comes out on the same day as a show, that I'm going to be downloading that puppy and using it to produce a show and seeing, let's see if we can't break it. And if all of a sudden you get this screen, you'll know why. You'll know why. Now, I used to be the one guy, one PC, one awesome broadcast guy, and I still believe in that concept. In fact, a lot of the streaming that I do is one PC based. But with NDI, it is so amazingly simple. If I can do it, it's got to be simple. NDI is so amazingly simple to use that you can use a second PC. So I've got my 10th generation or first generation, probably second generation, Asus Republic of Gamers PC out here. It's a G751 JT, which has got Thunderbolt on it and an i7 in it, and I think maybe just 8 gigs of RAM. Anyway, it's pumping it out there, just going over the network, and I'm delighted. What else is coming up? Thank you for asking. The projects that we have on board that we told you about last week have all gotten delayed. Got a PC on the workbench that we're trying to get out for a client, so that unfortunately had to delay some of the show. We had to do real work for a change instead of doing show work. But we still have our ceiling cam that Dave gave us that I can't wait to get in. We've got a stack of PTZ cams that we have been loaned that are probably they're ones that got returned because there was something wrong with them. So the folks at PTZ Optics says, sure, you can borrow a bunch of these, because what I want to do is see if we can't crash a gigabit network with the PTZ cams going in via Ethernet. And I've got 3 HD PTZ cams, and I want to see if I can't crash the network like that. So, and what was the third project? Golly, I don't remember. I'm sorry. I am beginning to believe that the more technology becomes advanced, in some ways, the simpler our streaming setups can become. I mean, the whole idea of eliminating a capture card by taking a video source, either NDI or like the PTZ Optics cam, just straight over the network and into the streaming. What do you call it in vMix? It's settings. No, sorry, not settings. It's input. It's just called a stream. So yeah, you just pick up the video stream from the camera over the network. So you've eliminated a capture card. I like the, I can't hold it up because it's all plugged in, the Behringer UMC 404 HD, which is a mixer, but it's not a mixer. It's a computer input. I mean, it's a audio input. So it eliminates the whole mixer shenanigans. I tell you what, I get a tech support call at least once a week from somebody who's struggling to make their mixer work with their PC with vMix. It just, it adds more complication to it than it needs. Here, the Behringer UMC 404 HD, you plug 4 mics to it, and you plug it into your PC via USB, and so now you've got 4 separate mic channels, and pow, away you go. And you've eliminated all the mixer nonsense. I like simple. Simple doesn't break as easily as complex does. Yes, there's a time for complex, but I like simple. John's saying, Tom, you're going to need more than 8 cameras to crash a gigabit network. And Martin S. says that the 404 HD is really easy to use. So there you go. May as well not do these projects. I'll just let you guys critique them in theory, and we'll never ever do them in real life and find out. No. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. What else? Whew. I guess that's it. That's it. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube live, come on into the chat room. Just be bold. Come on over to Eastern Shore Broadcasting and jump in chat before we get into post show. It'll be a lot of fun. Plus, you can chat with some of the folks. They're really nice. If you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, well, you've made it this far. You may as well subscribe. Come on, do it. And check us out on Facebook and Twitter too, and of course EasternShoreBroadcasting.com. Oh, by the way, this whole show is just a giant infomercial for our company. We design and build custom PCs for folks that are in the streaming business. We sell Magwell products, PTC Optics products. We're a reseller for vMix. And we do a lot of consulting with folks that are trying to put systems together, or they've already bought a lot of piece parts and they want to make them work together. That's the call I love. It's like, wow, gosh, I wish you hadn't bought that, because now it's going to cost you an extra $2,000 to do this. And if you hadn't bought that, you bought this instead, you could have saved yourself that money. So if you're thinking about a project, if you're thinking about putting together a system, I'll chat with you for free. We can exchange a couple of emails for free. We can talk on the phone. We can Skype. We can do all that for free, just, for a little bit. But if it's going to become complicated, then yeah, we're going to ask you to pay us some money. I'm worth it on a good day. Anyway, I'm Tom Sinclair. This has been Streaming Idiots. It has been my delight to have you with us today. And we hope you'll tune in again next week for another exciting episode. Same bat channel. Yeah, there you go. No, seriously. Have fun. We'll check you later. Bye now. That wasn't a bad show. Some might even say it was a good show. Is he a good rich or a bad rich? And we are out. And we get our post-show going there. And what did I miss? Prashana says vMix is also updating their instant replay. Oh, no. How did I miss that? Did I miss that? Did I already know that? Huh. It wasn't a good show? Well, John, the wife, you just need to hit him right now. Just whop him one. Okay, he said it was a great show. Ooh, good save, good save, good save. Let's see, the Alesis Multimix 8 USB FX mixer. You know what, Jeff? I started out with that mixer. I had an Alesis Multimix 8 USB. I don't know if it was an FX or not. And that was my very, very first mixer. And I didn't know what a single one of those knobs did. Oh, I mean, get this. I had, you know how a mixer's got two RCA jacks, a red one and a white one, and then two more next to each other, and that's the 2-track ins and outs. And I had some jumper cables, and I was jumping those together, trying to get audio from one place to another. Oh my gosh. Carl's here. Welcome, Carl. Golly, that was terrible. That was terrible. That was not even the bad old days. That was just the awful old days. Oh my goodness. Did the stream just die? I don't think so. Let's see. I don't think so. At least not on YouTube. I haven't seen it on Facebook. John said stream didn't die. Let's see, Kevin. Where are you watching? the stream dies, he can't see me. Okay, had to refresh. Oh, whew. Okay. Boy, that just made my chain of thought just go out the window. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, we were talking about the Alexis, the Alesis. Yeah, boy, that was great. That was great. The Alesis was a good. In fact, my son's got that mixer now, and he uses it. He's a musician, and he uses it for his gigs. Yep. But boy, I did not know a thing. I didn't know a thing. I didn't know anything about video. I didn't know anything about audio. And I was just like a giant sponge. I mean, that was like 2008, 2009. And thank you, Kevin. Glad you're back. Glad you're back. Oh, what else did I miss? What else were you guys talking about when I wasn't paying attention to you? The wife got me 3 times. Something about, all right, Mr. Live Producer says you have more content for next week's show then. And I missed the great giveaway of 2016. Okay. I'm looking back through. The chat here is not the same chat that I'm looking at. Martinez, if anyone can break it, you can. Just purchased vMix, says Jamie. What would be the update cost using vMix 4K? Jamie, if you just, well, it doesn't matter when you purchase. If you purchased vMix within the last year of the release of version 18, you get to update to version 18 for free. But the good news is, even if it's been more than a year, the update, regardless of whether you bought in at vMix Pro, 4K, HD, SD, Basic HD, or Basic SD, which of course is free, all of those, the update is $60. And then you're good for another year. So you can pay $60 a year and get free updates, or you can just, I saw somebody on the vMix forum this morning that was using vMix 11, and they've been using it solid since vMix 11 came out. They didn't want to update, and I think they were afraid that it was going to be expensive, because VidBlaster used to have a 50% fee to update. Wirecast, their fee just fluctuated based on how much money they needed. It would be 100, 200, sometimes more to update to Wirecast. So, but vMix is $60 across the board. There's no excuse not to keep up to date with the latest, greatest. Now, if you've got a setup that works and works well and does everything you need it to do, then if, like when this beta 18 comes out, you may want to wait for a while and let, all the idiots like me find the bugs. And lose our streams and lose our recordings and lose our minds in the process. But there comes a point at which it's Jim Jacobs shows up. Goodness gracious. All right, you got to bring refreshments now. Jim's up in Anniston, Alabama. And so we got to have something that's got to be appropriate for that. The Mevo, that's a good question about the Mevo. I don't know about the Mevo. And then there's the, what was it, the Solo? The one that has the little tag that follows you wherever you go. That one's pretty cool. I'd like to get my hands on one of those. Jim says, some of us actually work for a living. Yeah, right. Oh, my goodness. Jeff says $90, couldn't pass it up. Was that the Alesis mixer, I bet? Okay. Anyway, back to betas for a minute. Hold off if you're not sure. If everything's working great for you. On the other hand, if 18's got a feature you just can't live without, upgrade to it. If it doesn't work, downgrade back again. All right, TCB says, I know how much LS love vMix. I must have missed the part of that. Oh, live stream. Yeah, live stream doesn't love vMix at all. In fact, live stream doesn't want people that have vMix to use live stream. Yeah, they're not very open. And you know, I regret that. I think live stream is missing out because I know vMix is living out. Yeah, live stream. Gotcha. I think it's a shame. I think a spirit of cooperation would, you know, it's kind of like a rising tide. It would lift all boats. It would make everybody better. And you don't have to be the only, you don't have to be the only boat. It's okay for other people to have boats too. And it's a good idea. In fact, competition makes us better. I think, for example, back in the old days, back in 2010 and 2011, when I was the VidBlaster guy, had that show, that VidBlaster guy, and it was VidBlaster and Wirecast and VidBlaster and Wirecast, and VidBlaster would come out with a feature and Wirecast would come out with a feature, and it was great because they were just steel on steel. They were sharpening each other, and then vMix came into the mix, and that's great because all the products get better in that situation, and I think there's definitely room for all those products because different products are going to appeal to different people based on the feature set, based on, whether or not it could be as simple as, yes, my friend has vMix and he showed me how to use it and I like it. Not because you think that vMix is better than Wirecast or better than VidBlaster or better than TriCast or whatever. It's because you're more comfortable with it. It's because it's better for you. And so, what was it? They used to get in discussions, let's call them discussions, with some Wirecast fanboys, and they were just, you're an idiot if you use anything other than Wirecast, and that's not the way to improve Wirecast. Because if everybody used Wirecast, this is what Telestream does, and counts their money. But instead, their business, they've got to stay competitive, so they've got to continue to put time and energy into their product and keep it up to date. Don't get me started on that. All right, let's see. Mr. Live Producer said, hey, don't get me started on live stream and white label costings. That's what I would love from you guys. If y'all have got a white label CDN in your back pocket that you would share with me, either in the chat or by a email, Tom at that VidBlaster, Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com. I am looking for a Whitestream CDN. What I want to do with it, just to be real open, is to when we sell a system, is to give the folks that are buying the system from it 3 months worth of free streaming. So that they we'll get it all configured so that they're ready to go. If they've already got a CDN, no problem. Go with what you know. But if they don't, we want to help them take the next step, and of course we want to make a couple of bucks off of it too. So if you know somebody that's doing a white label, and I think there's a difference between somebody that's reselling CDN and people that are white labeling, and I'm not quite sure the differences yet, but I'm looking for a white label, which I think means basically, it's sort of turnkey. I'm not buying a big part of it and then just reselling small chunks. I'd rather just, when I need a chunk, I'll get a chunk kind of thing. Yes, Anderson, I remember those days too. I remember it was back in 2000, probably 2013. So that's like 21 years ago in computer years. I tried vMix. I downloaded it, and I looked at it, and there were just these two little inputs sitting there, and an empty preview window and an empty output window, and I turned it off. I'm not a big follow the instruction guys, and I forced myself. Who was it? Anderson, it may have been you that forced me to look at vMix again, and that was probably 2014. It was about the time we started this show, because this show started in 2014. And part of the reason for starting this show was that the show, that VidBlaster guy, was so limiting to VidBlaster. Now, we talk a lot about vMix on this show, but we also talk about other things that have, peripherally to do with vMix. And certainly my company is more than just vMix. So we needed that other show, and Streaming Idiots became that other show. Oh my goodness. Okay, Mr. Live Producer says he's using StreamShark and Clang as the pay-per-view gateway. Jim's using Dacast and doesn't love them. I think Dacast has a white label program now. John says never seen anyone not having some sort of problem with Dacast. Yeah, I can see that. Jimmy says 4 wins broadcasting. Thank you. Dacast gotten better? Okay. Dacast was bad 3 years ago? Yeah. Well, everybody can have a bad day. Certainly that's the case. Jeff says he's had vMix since version 8. Ooh. I think he threw down the gauntlet there. I think the first show that I did that I reviewed vMix was on vMix 13. Dacast is very competitive. Hey, Boris. And they roll over the bandwidth. That's true. And I actually paid for a year in advance on Dacast, and I don't know that I've used it since. I've loaned it out a bunch of times to folks that just wanted to try it. And, they're not going to use up all the bandwidth that I've got banked. Let's see, just looking back and see if I missed anything here. Prashant says, what if we use 18 beta to get data sources and use NDI and then use 17 to stream it? I think that would fly. They're both NDIs, unless there's just something I can't imagine. I know there was kind of a break between 16 and 17 because of NDI, and that the desktop capture for 16 didn't work with desktop capture. Didn't work with 17, and desktop capture with 17 didn't work with vMix 16. And there were some folks that were pretty upset about that because they had a lot of stuff built up around that. And I know Martin's really sensitive. Martin Sinclair, my 19th cousin, who is the CEO of vMix. I know he's really sensitive about that, and he doesn't want to make a change that's going to alienate folks and orphan them. But sometimes you just have to make a cut based on the way the technology road's going. John L. says, was it possible to get the vMix 18 beta now? Well, it wasn't possible for me to. You might be able to, and I know there's some folks out there. They probably have alphas, and they're probably have got some products that use vMix as kind of a base. And so they're getting an early look at it to make sure their product doesn't need to be modified. Jeff says the stream is freezing, and we've lost my audio. Well, that's no good. Check, check, check. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Well, I'm still getting it. Yeah, Kevin's right. Try a refresh. Steve is waiting for vMix Diamond. Ah, yes, vMix Diamond. vMix Diamond, actually, there's only one person that gets vMix Diamond. Rich says, our church web hosting company, Lever & Company, also hosts a Wowzer server so we can stream on our website. It's part of our web hosting package. We stream to both our website and YouTube live. They work with resellers but only support churches and Christian organizations. Well, that's cool. I don't think we're considered a Christian organization because, basically we were selling stuff for profit so that I can eat. John needs the beta by tomorrow. Jeff has refreshed twice already. Oh, golly. Yeah, I'm looking at the confidence monitor here, and it's working. Jeff. Facebook. I haven't looked at Facebook to see if it's working, but that let's see if we can get a URL for Jeff on that. Anybody have a URL on Facebook? See if maybe I can pull it up here real quick. Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Bada 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 bing. Yeah, there we go. What about that? There we go. Oh, just click the live button, says Prashana. Anderson says, video is a bit jerky. Jimmy says, Four Winds will send to website, archive, and Roku. Ooh, that's nice. All right, Jeff says, I'll finish here for now. It's stable again. Giles says, only 240, but smooth as butter. Jimmy says, also YouTube and Facebook Live with one stream. Jamie says, I had a little glitch and downgrade of vid quality, but it's been a good broadcast from your website. Yeah, that's the thing with using a free service like YouTube. You know, they need to manage their load, and you know, what am I paying for it? I'm not paying anything, so they may just steal a little of my bandwidth and give it to somebody else. Martin's okay in Switzerland. Good deal. Thank you, Martin. Interesting to go through the chat later and to kind of take a poll. And you guys don't have to do this now, but just to see how many folks are watching in the U.S. and how many folks are watching outside of the U.S. Actually, to take a poll of how many folks are watching inside the state of Alabama. We got Jim and Tommy. I haven't seen Tom today. We got Marcus and me. That's 4. How is the weather today, Martin? The weather is beautiful. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's about 85 degrees, and it's not supposed to rain for at least 2 weeks. Sorry, didn't say that to make you feel bad. It's been a great day. Good. Jamie's in North Carolina. All right. What else? I am hoping that the bird dog guys are that we can kind of fool them and make them think that I might really be influencing some people, and they'll send me one to test. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Minnesota, New Zealand, Indiana. Well, see, I can go through the list and name a lot of you. Martin S. is in England. Frank Bees is in California. Jim is in Alabama. Hendrik, I'm sorry, I don't know. Jens is Sweden. Steve Brown is, golly, shoot, I used to know Steve. Dave's in either Washington or Oregon. Merle's in Indiana. Andrew S. is in Australia. Peter H. Now, Peter H., I didn't see you come in. Boris is in San Diego. There you go. Jimmy H. is in Oklahoma. Prashant in India. Anderson's in Barbados. Kevin, I don't have a clue. I'm sorry. Anderson says he closed the program and my video's smooth again, but it's raining with gusty winds. Tropical Storm Matthew. Oh, really? Oh, no. I just read about that this morning. With the bird dog device, any idea how much latency added? I think it's supposed to be like 1/3 of a frame. I mean, like amazing. Dave's in Seattle. Okay. 664 in Norway. Aha. TCB in San Jose. Peter's in Germany. Peter, oh, thank you. I am so glad, because that was one of the discussions on the vMix post show yesterday was, can YouTube Live, are you watching on YouTube Live or Facebook? Is YouTube Live available in Germany? Because the vMix guys didn't want to use, oh, Nepal. I'm sorry, Prashana, my bad. Don't make that mistake, I know. Jens is Denmark. Ah, got it. Okay, Nepal. I got it, Nepal. I won't forget again. I will forget again, but I got it for now, Nepal. The latency is supposed to be really, really low on the bird dog thing. But the Peter, Germany, for some reason, somebody had said that YouTube was not available in Germany anymore. Okay, MLP is in Brisbane. Now, where is Brisbane? Is that south or is that on the East Coast? Jim says after the election, I may want to move to one of those places. Oh, Jim, come on. You hung in there for 8 years. You can make it if... Okay. Boris says Facebook feed is 10 seconds on his cell faster than Wi-Fi. That's interesting. And Anderson says that Matthew only turned to a storm status this morning, strengthened overnight. Isn't that amazing? Weather is amazing. Weather is amazing. So Peter, I don't want to let this go. You got to help me out here. Are you watching on Facebook? Or are you watching on YouTube? Or are you watching on, Eastern Shore Broadcasting? Oh, there it is. YouTube Live is still available. Thank you. Great. I'll pass that along to Martin because they were doing the Decast HTML5 thing Tuesday, and it had a good 35-second delay. But with YouTube Live optimized for low latency, what do we say we're getting? 11 seconds, something like that. East Coast, the same state as the vMix guys. Okay. Giles has a YouTube channel. Merle has posted the link. Oh, John's got an off topic. Oh, I love off topics. I have had some interesting and unproductive time playing with overlapmaps.com. All right. And Peter, thanks again for the YouTube thing. I didn't mean to harp on that, but I will definitely pass that along. That's good news. Martin is in Netherlands. Awesome. Rafael, okay, let's see. Maybe YouTube Live sent from some countries is not available in Germany. Oh, well, that may be the case. That's a good idea. If that's the case, then we need to experiment. Now, Rafael, you're in Poland, right? All right, Jim says Bird Dog device is supposed to provide two-way connectivity, so you can do comm and tally, but I still don't see it being worth $600. Jim, they'll become... It may not work for you, but there'll be somebody there that has a unique set of circumstances where it's going to be worth it for them to be able to do that. And, that's going to be magnified 1,000 times. And these guys will sell, 1,000 of them at $600 a piece so that their production costs or their pre-production costs will be covered, and now they can sell them to the rest of us at $300 a piece. I'm hoping. Yeah, TCV says 3 for 1,000, and he's in. There you go. Rafael, exactly. Polska. All right. How long is the battery? I don't think it's battery powered. That's interesting. It's probably HDMI powered. What am I saying? Frank says, since we're all across the world, do you think we should have a Facebook group hosted by you, Tom? It's just a thought. We could. That'd be fun. Rafael says, look, you don't need a capture card when you... Yeah, but Jim already has capture cards. Jim's got capture cards coming out the you-know-what. But, if you're building a new trailer from the ground up and a new PC from the ground up, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to be capture card less, and then I can run... And here's part of it too, and I don't know how the Bird Dog TV thing will work. Heck, the Bird Dog TV may be PoE. Tom, you need to change your YouTube URL to, I tried that earlier and it didn't work. Oh, no, mine said live. Okay, I'll try that. MLP says running cage camera, commentary camera with audio mixing board via camera to vMix and running board back to the comms to, yes. And he does a lot of MMA events. Uh-huh. Let's see one. My money's on Black Magic getting there first at a better price point. All right. Well, no, I don't think we're going to see them getting there first, but they might get there second. Jamie says, I'm trying to watch Inside Sim Racing TV and can't deal with 2 audio feeds. See you next week. We got ditched for a TV for racing. That's too funny. S-Bit, you missed your ad. TCB, anybody using the 8-port Blackmagic card? Yes. I mean, I'm not here, but I'm building PCs that have it. It's great. Kevin brings some to the table. Thank you, Kevin. Bird Dog TV says it's PoE powered. There you go. Martin, please excuse if it seems rude. But why do you read the forum posts aloud? We can all read them. Martin, please excuse me if I seem rude, but you showed up late and I explained that earlier. No, I'm teasing. Why do I do that? Because I could sit here and read these to myself and I'd just be sitting here like this, reading them. When I can read them out loud and comment on them, and some of them, some of them obviously that are conversations between you guys. After two or three threads, I realize I'm not involved, so I stop reading them. But that's why, just because I just hate sitting here and not doing anything. John's posted this one that's 5 lines long, and I'm just going, oh. And Dave said, that's right, for the blind viewers. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Martin, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of you. Well, actually, I did, but you're a big boy. Jim says, Blackmagic, realize lower price point on many of their products. That's true. Oh, yeah, with the DeckLink Duo 2, they have. I think they did more to change the market with the Duo 2 than they did with the Quad 2. Anderson's looking for a good secondhand HD capture card. Anderson, you're looking for like an Intensity Pro or something? HD. All right. Martin's going to have everybody, the drinks are on him. There you go. Some Grolsch beer. All right. All right, Jim wants to know about pay-per-view. He's about to do his first one in January. He's like some pointers. I'll give you a pointer. Do a complete dry run a couple of weeks beforehand with dry run viewers and the whole thing, and make sure that your viewers can get through the DeCast paywall without trouble, because that paywall was very confusing the last time I used it. Yes, John L., the newest series of mini converters. Or is it a mini converter or a micro converter? The new HDMI to SDI for like $85 US. That's amazing. TCB, how many ports? That would be to Anderson. And see, part of what Anderson struggles with is he's in Barbados. So he can't just zip down to the local computer store in Barbados and get a Blackmagic Intensity Pro card. Anderson, one thing you might think about, depending on how your PC is set up, is if you've got a USB 3 port, something like the Elgato H60 or what are some of the other ones like that? I mean, Madgwell's got the USB 3 dongle. And so that would be an inexpensive way. Of course, the Blackmagic Intensity Pro, you can't beat that for $200. He says something like AJA or Blackmagic. Okay. And Jim, are you hosting? There you go. John, I don't remember if it's mini or micro. They had a mini converter already that I've got one on the shelf that I paid $200 or more for. And now they're only 2.5 times more expensive than the China boxes. That's right. And, you know, Marcus, I don't know if Marcus is still here, but he and I were chatting about this a couple of weeks ago about, you know, getting the Blackmagic mini converter for $85 or getting the Chinese knockoff for $25. And I said, well, you know, if you get the $25, get two, because you're probably going to need the second one sooner or later. All right, MLP wants to write a PPV primer. I like it. Epiphone, yes, I think they make one too. A pretty reasonably priced dongle too. TCB's got a bunch of single BM cards. All right, Anderson says, can you type that so I can write it down, Tom? Yes. What was it? It was the Elgato H60. And the Madgwell, so I think it's just called a USB 3.0 HDMI dongle. But 85 is not bad, exactly. Especially when the price point, you know, that we were thinking of for brand name was over $200. Oh, you didn't want me to write that down. You were talking about TCB. My bad. I was just trying to be super helpful. Not very bright, but helpful. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, I think we're going to wind this up, guys. Unless you guys have got some poignant comments or stunning questions that just can't wait. And just for future reference, we do leave this chat up for a week until the next show. So if you need to go back to it and reference a link that somebody posted, it'll be here for a week, and then a couple hours before the show, I'll erase it. Bye, Jeff. Thanks for popping in. Glad having you. Glad your show is such a success. Let's see. Frank says, Tom, what needs or industries is hot for live streaming for newbies like me that want to get started? You mean that want to pay you to do streaming? I think that's the question. Unless you want to give it away, that's the deal. TCB said, thanks, Tom. My first time out was a Stone Cold Groove. I think that's good. Not sure. Thank you, Merle. Bye, 86. Thank you, Chris. What industries? If I were going to, oh man, you know, I think probably the gig part of it would be to find some folks that are doing some events and see if they won't pay you to live stream the events. Either that or won't allow you to live stream the event if you'd set up a pay-per-view, although pay-per-views, as Jim will tell you, are kind of risky. We need to do a show on that. Actually, we need to do a panel on that. That would be a good idea. Kevin, thanks, Tom. Love your show. Kevin, glad to have you. John, Tom, there's actually 40 plus in this chat room today. Is that a record? I believe it is. Yes, thank you. I'm delighted and thrilled. Jim, okay, the main concern you will have is I know that the cast has both viewer hours and data usage. TCV, it's good. All right. Mr. Live Producer, so it's a double whammy on costing. Huh, then they've changed it because it used to be it was just bandwidth. Dave, most I can remember. Dave's been here since, like, when we started the show in the 1890s. Corporate events pay good, says John L. Weddings, now that's a great idea. Weddings. And, believe it or not, I know it sounds kind of morbid, but funerals. We did a funeral. It was at the church, so that's it. Guess 961, can you legally install your vMix program on 2 computers? Yes, the vMix license allows you to install vMix on your vMix license in 2 computers as long as they're not used simultaneously. That's the gig. Can't be used simultaneously. All right, Tommy's House. Have a good one, gang. Okay, Martin S. Has vMix made the keyboard active yet for the web browser? No, I think that's going to be in 18. And it's just going to be a right-click enable keyboard kind of thing. Rich is here. Well, glad to have you. If you can't show up on time or even late, show up at the very end. Holler at me, Tom. Yes, Tommy, I will. John L. says, here we go. If you want to get paid for streaming, you must provide added value for the event, like help exposing their sponsors. Yeah, it really is about marketing. Yep. Yeah, that was back when we streamed with VidBlaster by candlelight. Oh, that is too funny. That is too funny. You guys just tear me up. All right, well, have great days and evenings and mornings wherever you may be. And we will see you next week. If you got some great ideas or need some help, holler to me. You know how to reach me. It's been a treat. Marcus says, found that some websites in vMix web input don't work. Yeah, I think that's true. It also, no. It seems to me I remember Martin Sinclair saying something about it being a Chrome limitation in some cases. Yep. Be well, Martin. Anderson, I get more funerals than weddings these days. Oh, there you go. You need to talk to Anderson. Thank you, Giles. Thank you, Giles. 961, I love you, Tom. Okay, well, thank you very much. Tom, can you capture your Google Chrome window with desktop NDI? I think so. Thank you, Steve. Glad you hit it. Who wants a funeral streamed? Oh, John, you would be amazed. And Anderson will tell you, there, especially if it's a sudden death, and people can't travel. They want to be there and they can't be there. Streaming it is catching on big time. Via Candias, TCB. Kevin says it. That's right. Later, Marcus. Glad to have you. Dave says they do it. There you go. Jim has got the magic key. Somebody's always got to sell something for anything good to follow. That's right. Jimmy H, 22-second delay from chat here to show up on your screen. Yeah, I think chat's getting tired. MLP, it's also about shortcut keys. So they're doing an option on the input to enable input, but when you activate that option, it disables the the keyboard shortcuts. That's true. Dave's done as many funerals as weddings. Frank, thanks, Tom, and others for your feedback for newbies. Psh, dude, we all started where you are, and we made it. Well, I mean, you know, we made it this far. Oh. Here you go. 961 happened at my church. The mother of the deceased was bedridden and could not attend. That's a great reason right there. John, damn, I must be way too insensitive. Nature would not watch a funeral live streamed unless it was someone like our queen. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. Boris, bye. Next Monday. Okay. Thank you for keeping me in the loop. If you guys don't know Boris, he's a good guy. You need to meet him. All right, buttoning up. We're going to let the stream run for a few more minutes, just because there is the delay and lag. So I'm going to show you guys this really great screen of what I look at. That's what I'm looking at during the course of the broadcast. And I'll give you a little music to go with it. And we'll see you next week.